Good morning, all. Welcome to the show. A little bit late, only 42 minutes, normally at 10 o'clock. But wow, were we having technical difficulties this morning. I think I was sampling too much of the studio bar to try and get it up and running. But hey, that's another week down in the tubes. Round two has been done and dusted for 2025. We look forward to round three. But we'll have a look at what happened over the last weekend and standings and what's coming up and maybe a bit of Six Nations and a bit of, what's that game called? Sevens? Yeah. But good morning, and I'd like to bring on a Mike. Good morning, Mike. How are you? Finally got you.
Yeah, good, mate. How you going?
Get fucked.
No comment.
I've had a shocker morning this morning, and I can say the F word because it's my show. Sorry. Content may offend. Sorry, people. Actually, I should have that coming up, saying content may offend, because what we talk about, there's a lot of people think we talk a lot of rubbish, but then again, we do. But hey, I said Italy would beat France in the weekend, and they got thumped by 50. What do I know? Or even come close. They didn't even come close. They forgot to get off the bus. But we'll just jump straight into it, seeing we're running late. But as I said, we are hopefully, if Rhodey's awake, simulcast on rocketfm.co.nz. Don't forget, we're all Rugby United here. Sorry, just getting the sponsors out. And, of course, if you're watching us on YouTube, drop us a comment and we will try and answer your questions. But, Mike, Super Rugby, last weekend. It's a little bit easier for me to hopefully operate from this one, but great results. It was great for the Crusaders at 17 all, wasn't it?
Yeah, no, it was another great round of rugby. There were some really, really good games and some brilliant standout performances, which we'll get to as we go through the results. But there's a lot of happy coaches and a few not so happy coaches at the moment.
No, I know. And now I 100% did pick the Crusaders to win that. Why? Because the Chiefs made 7 changes to their squad, and it was a case scenario of hell's bells. 7 changes? Okay. Let's see what happens. The Chiefs don't have a B team, do they? They've just got a Super A squad.
Yeah, they've got a pretty good squad. They've got a really strong bench that's littered with All Blacks. Obviously Luke Jacobson had that nasty head knock, so wouldn't be surprised if we see him on the sidelines for a couple of weeks. But yeah, other than that, it was a very, very polished performance by the Chiefs. I think Clayton McMillan's expressions in the coaching box said it all.
Yeah, no, they've definitely almost got one foot in that final, haven't they? Unless the wheels fall off, of course. And after watching a few of the yellow cards this weekend, maybe that's the only thing that's going to bring them back to the pack. A few dodgy referee decisions. But, we'll just see what happens as we move forward. After that, though, we had the Moana Pacifica backing up from the game in round 1 against the Western Force. Well, they literally didn't get off the bus. It was 21-0 after about 10 minutes. They finally got into it, but then the rain fell, and the Reds, then 2 late tries, sort of blew it out to that 56 points. But, hey, they're scoring the tries, Moana Pacifica. How do you think they're going to go at their new home coming up into round 3, which we'll get to? But, was Queensland that good?
Well, I think Queensland have come out of the blocks pretty strong there with that win over Moana Pacifica. Moana just floundered in the first 10, 15 minutes, I thought. But, the Reds look good. Well, I mean, obviously it's only their first go. And they'll improve on that immensely, I'd say.
Yeah, true. And then, of course, so that was Friday night wrapped up. We'll just run through these really quickly. The Mighty Canes. What? Mighty? that was a get out of jail a bit. We knew the Drua were going to be good. They did rest players from that game against the Brumbies in round 1, brought out their big guns for round 2. And well, the Hurricanes did get, well, hey, at the end of the day, it's a W on the board, isn't it? They're on the ladder now with 4 points, but 38-34. Drua unlucky, Hurricanes lucky. Which way do you think that one went?
Well, this is the one game of the round I didn't watch, so I was getting updates throughout the game. I thought the Drua were unlucky not to win it. Obviously, they butchered a couple of try opportunities, and the Canes discipline let them down. But in the end, they were just too strong.
Yeah, far too strong. And then, the result of the decade, the result of Super Rugby in history, the mighty, mighty champion Blues go down to steal the points off the Highlanders, and Jamie Joseph's men did the business on the Blues, did they not? What a great victory by the Highlanders. I saw Jeff Wilson and Wheeler going on the breakdown the other night. They just couldn't stop talking about it, but you can't. We did pick the Highlanders. We're apparently one of the few, because we're not from Auckland, of course, but apparently not that many people picked the Highlanders. We did. I just want to remind people that we did last week. Go and have a look. We picked the Highlanders, and I even said by 8, I believe. But, it was a good performance, and is Finn Hurley the new Jeff Wilson, and is Tamoshi Tavatanaiwai, as they're trying to say this morning, Phil Gifford in the Herald, is he the new Ma Nonu?
Well, 15,000 people under the roof at Forsyth Bar in the middle of orientation week in Dunedin, and you can't really get much better than that, can you? I thought it was a beautiful tribute to Connor they done at the start of the game. It was a real tearjerker. Finn Hurley, yeah, he was unreal. I don't know what's going on in that kid's brain, but he's got some real talent, that fella. And Tamatama Nawai at the breakdown, he was running backwards and still getting past them, and he was over the ball and they couldn't get him off the ball, and it was just a really, really polished performance. Obviously, we seen one of the first red cards in the competition. It was upgraded Daniel Leonard-Brown for a head contact, so he'll face a judiciary in the coming days. But it was a really, really good performance, and they done it with 13 men at one stage. So,
yeah, that was an interesting position. Sort of me and my mate Wayne, we looked at each other and went, "Hey," because they had to go to golden oldies, they still have to have 8 men in the scrum, and they still needed a prop. So that is why I can't remember who it was now, went off. And that's why they were stuck with 13 men for the rest of the game, pretty much, because and it was quite good. Not often I agree with what they say on the breakdown show, but they were coming out. I think it was Jeff Wilson again was explaining why the IRB brought that rule in, and it made sense. It's to stop teams from trying to rig the system and go, oh, we don't have any forwards, we've got to go there and still have a advantage. So, but hey, the Highlanders held out against the champion Blues with 13 men. I mean, they've got to walk away with their heads so high. And, coming up this week, they're away to Moana Pacifica, who are hurting. So it's going to be a humdinger at North Harbour. But just to round off the round, this game. Funny, I was watching this game, and I was doing some other stuff in the background, and then I woke up. I literally had fallen because, it was over in Aussie, and it was the Brumbies and all that. But the Brumbies were leading. I'm going, the Western Force were leading. I'm thinking, okay, they'll collapse. And then the Brumbies were leading. I'm going, okay. And then I woke up literally to the celebrations of the Western Force getting their first victory over the Brumbies in over 5,000 days. I can't even work that out in years. 10 years is 3,600. So, huge win. And we did say there would be a few upsets in the Aussie comp this year. But, hey, no, I can guarantee you, about 4 people in all my tipping comps picked the Western Force because it was our default pick.
Yeah, well, I think this is obviously a pretty close game, but I think both of these teams can be pretty proud of the performance they put out there. Simon Cron will be sky high. The Western Force coach, he's had 2 wins out of 2, and I think Stephen Larkin will be pretty disappointed with that result. But once again, Ben Donald, fly half, had a solid performance for the Force, and I think he's a real contender to make the Wallabies squad this year going forward. And it wouldn't surprise me if we see one of or both of those coaches within the wider coaching group of the Australian team this year.
Okay. Now, funny you should mention that, because what were we talking about last week? About a certain Leon McDonald. Where's he gone? What's he up to? Did we put something out in the atmosphere there about that? Because within about 2 hours of our show last week, breaking news, Leon McDonald is assisting the Western Force in the coaching ranks in Super Rugby. Hello? So does this mean a certain Leon McDonald is in the Australian coaching system now? Does this mean Leon McDonald might be a front runner to take over from Joe Schmidt at the end of the Rugby Championship this year?
Yeah, well, anything's possible, isn't it? Yeah, it was literally last year we were saying, oh, where's Leon McDonald gone? You know, he obviously parted ways with Razor and the All Blacks, and then this year he pops up at he's joined Simon Cron and the coaching team of the Western Force. So yeah, no, it'll be interesting to see how he goes. He's obviously a very talented coach, and you know, there's 4 or 5 of them that could probably team up together and have a go at the Wallabies. But it's just a matter of wait and see. I think.
Yeah, well, we'll have to wait till the end of season tour for that one, because Joe Schmidt's there until the end of the Rugby Championship. So, yeah, it's a matter of just wait and see. So, after all of that, here is the table. So, Chiefs on top, 9 points, 1 point clear already. In clear second place, we have the Western Force. I'll just see if I can blow that up a bit better so people can see. Yeah, Western Force, the Queensland Reds, Highlanders, and the Brumbies all sitting there on 5 points after 2 rounds. Now, remembering, it's only the top 6 that go through. And currently, we've got 4 Australian teams in the top 6 with the Highlanders and the Chiefs. Hello, what's going on here? What universe are we living in? But they're knocking on the door, of course. We've got the Hurricanes, Crusaders. Fiji drew a couple of bonus points there. And then, of course, Moana Pacifica, bonus point there. And sitting at the bottom, 0, that's 9 points behind the leaders, the Chiefs, is the Blues, with not a handsome point differential either, minus 19 after 2 rounds. Okay, what's your thoughts on that? 4 Aussie teams in the top 6. No wonder they're crowing.
Yeah, that's pretty unreal, to be fair. I think there's a couple of teams there that really need to pull their finger out. The Blues need to sort their game out and stop kicking the ball away. I think Vern Cotter will be pretty disappointed with that performance. I thought Hoskins Satutu didn't really do much when he had his first game back in a while. Dalton Papali'i was pretty strong, but yeah, no, there's, you know, going forward, it's going to be interesting to see how it plays out, because the way the table's looking at the moment, and the way the competition is going, you know, we're seeing a lot of great games and a lot of explosive talent. That leaderboard can probably either stay like that or it'll shift around quite dramatically.
And dare I say it, with the Sons of Anarchy on the sidelines now, he might now have a bit of a clear head and just, as they say, put the foot down and make a beeline for the try line going 100 mile an hour. But yeah, I just had to get that out. I thought there could be some fun in that. But yeah, anyway, I'll move on. So, Player of the Year. The points are been released this morning, so no one else would have had a look at that at the moment. So, Whanafi Whanau from the I really have difficulties in saying Fatafi's surname, so I apologise for that. Kyle Preston, Luke Raymer, Ben Donaldson, Artie Savia, Sivu Reese. So all of them top of the pops after 2 rounds. They just given everyone 3 points.
Yeah, I don't know. I think Finn Hurley should be up that chart a bit further, to be fair.
Yeah. I mean,
and Big Jim, he should be up near the top, I'd say.
Well, the question I have, you get 3 points for 3 points, 2 points, and 1 point. So we've only had 2 rounds. The most anyone can get is 6 points. Okay. How the Hurricanes got 3 players on 6 points? Shouldn't there only be at least 2?
Yeah, who does this points thing?
This is from Super Rugby. This is actually the table from Super Rugby. So I don't know how they've managed to give. They must have given a tie for the Hurricanes at one point. I don't know. It's one of those ones. It depends on how big your contract is and how many points you're going to get. So I don't know. But anyhow, that is how the table was presented about 10 minutes ago on the Super Rugby Player of the Year after round 2. So we'll just grab straight into it. Friday night, we have Moana Pacifica. They're going to be taking on the Highlanders at their new home ground at North Harbour Stadium in Albany. Yes, the background is Eden Park, but hey, my new fancy graphics didn't have North Harbour Stadium. What's your thoughts on this one? So we've got the Highlanders on a high, Moana Pacifica wanting to fight back from a disappointing start. Teams will be announced Wednesday, Thursday, so we can just go with our hearts here and not worry about who's in the team.
Yeah, well, obviously Moana have got their tails up. They haven't had the best start of the competition, and the Highlanders are flying high. So, yeah, I'm in the Highlanders camp again by 10 at least.
Yeah. Well, currently the odds are about $1.44 for the Highlanders and 3-1 to the Moana Pacifica. And yes, officially, it's all locked in on my Super Brew. I have the Highlanders there by 10 points as well. So, it'll be interesting to see if Jamie Joseph rests any players this week. But I think that could be a problem if you do that. I think if you've got a formula working, just run with it. He has got a couple of players that may need to take a break, but that's what buys are for, aren't they? So, and when do they have a bye? They have a bye next week. So, so I say just run with the status quo, Mr. Joseph. So anyway,
I see Ethan de Groot wasn't too happy at the end of that game, so maybe I'm not too sure whether he's injured or just had a big game.
Yeah, I thought I had that all set up nicely, but I didn't. So the next game is what I'll just quickly do, just to be on the safe side, is I will just quickly take that off, because I did have this all set up nicely, and of course it's not working now, so hang on, I'll just quickly, where are we? I'll just get rid of that so we don't have all that other crap popping up. Get rid of that, get rid of that, and get rid of that. There we go. And then we'll go back to there. And there we go. Back again. Sorry. That was just a bit of housekeeping because I was behind the 8 ball. And remember, if you're disagreeing with our picks early doors before the teams are announced, throw them in the comments. Tell us how dumb and stupid we are. So we've got the Waratahs anyway, hosting Fiji Drua on Friday night, 9:30 New Zealand time. And, the Drua, they've got to sort out this away game thing, don't they?
Yeah, they're having a bit of a hoodoo with their away games. This is a rematch. I think it might have been last year or the year before when the Waratahs played the Drua in Churchill Park in Lautoka, and it went to extra time, and there was a drop goal missed by the Waratahs, and then the Iceman got the Drua home and up the other end of the field with a drop goal of his own. So if this game can replicate that game, it's going to be an amazing game because the Fijians need to start putting some performances together.
Yeah, no, totally. And the only difference between that game you're talking about, and it was a great game, is that, you've got the Waratah Rebels combined squad here. And the Waratahs are looking okay, dare I say it. Which way did I go here? I went the Waratahs by 12 anyway. That was my prediction. I just think home ground, Friday night in Sydney. Apparently the Drua had one of their best squads out against the Hurricanes and all that travel to Napier and all that. I think that's going to count against them. So, yeah, I'm going to go Waratahs by 12.
Okay, I'll take the Drua by 8.
Ooh, okay. Drua by 8.
And
okay.
hopefully we'll see Marcy start this week and get into his work.
Yeah, it was. They kept him quiet last weekend against the Hurricanes. So anyway, then of course we've got the big game on at FMG Stadium, the Chiefs versus the Brumbies at 4:30. Nice early game, because it's interesting that they're giving the prime time to the Hurricanes, but we'll come to that in a minute. So Brumbies, yeah, they will be so bitter about that defeat last week to the Western Force. I'm going to be intrigued to hear your thoughts on this game.
Yeah, well, the Brumbies obviously brought back a couple of big guns last week, James Sipper being one of them, who's played over 100 tests for the Wallabies, and they still couldn't get across the line, but Chiefs are flying high. If they can come through that game last week pretty injury free, well, obviously Luke Jacobson will be in doubt, but if they can perform anywhere near what they did last week, the Brumbies are in for a long night.
Yeah, I'm going to go the Chiefs by 10 here, only because if the Brumbies can get their act together by the time they do hopefully play the Hurricanes at some point, then they're a bit wounded and sad for themselves. But then the problem is a wounded Brumby is like any animal. A wounded animal is a dangerous animal. You know what I mean? So,
yep.
But I think Saturday afternoon, unsure of what the weather's doing. There was a bit of weirdness going on in the world, but I think we'll still be in for a fine day, fingers crossed. And I think the Chiefs will be too quick for the Brumbies on there, coming from the cold of Canberra. So, okay, I'm going Chiefs by 10, and you're going to go Chiefs by
12.
All righty. Then, of course, the match of the round. You know what I'll be doing. I'll be drinking. I'll be having a few drinks responsibly, or 3, or even 4, watching the mighty Hurricanes take on the Blues at Sky Stadium here in Wellington, 7 o'clock kickoff. And, wow, they've not really had a great build-up for this week, have they, the Blues? Sure, they've got a bit of a flush the dunny moment and move on with certain players in their squad, but are the panic buttons being pushed repeatedly in Auckland at the moment?
I don't know, but yeah, Vern Cotter and his team got some serious thinking to do about going forward. Where they put certain players and the tactics, the kicking tactics is a big one, I think, for this team at the moment. As for the Hurricanes, obviously they had a couple of yellow cards on the weekend, and they took I thought they took a while to get into their work against the Drua, but once they did, they looked pretty good. So. Well, I'm not a Blues fan. I'm not really a Hurricanes fan, so I'm going to go the Canes by 12.
Yeah, well, they are thinking that by 12. Wait till you hear what I've officially picked. I've picked the Hurricanes to win by 6. only because it's the Blues. But the good friends at Super Brew, I don't know where they get their odds from, currently have the Hurricanes at $2.50, a draw at 21, which we know it will never happen because there's never a draw anymore. But they are having the Blues down as favourites at $1.55. I don't understand why that would be, because, I mean, the Hurricanes only went down to the Crusaders. Okay, sure, the Blues beat the Crusaders. No, they didn't beat the Crusaders. The Chiefs beat the Crusaders. But then you've got it's a home ground advantage. The weather, of course, is going to be great. You can never beat Wellington on a good day. And, I think it'll be a close game, but I think the Canes will get up and win this, because the reason I say that is the Blues, when you look at the draw coming up, after this they've got the Brumbies at home. After that, they're back at the Chiefs in Waikato. After that, they are at home to the Crusaders.
Yeah.
It's not until round 7 they have a bye. So they've got all their games up until their bye are against top-ranked teams. Because even though the Crusaders went down, you can still pick them, And the Chiefs, they're flying high. Whatever happens this week with the Brumbies, if they get up over the Chiefs, that's going to make it interesting next week, because the Brumbies will be flying high again. But the thing is, with that, the Brumbies would have been in New Zealand for over a fortnight. So they're totally acclimatised. They've got no jet lag, even though it's only 2 hours. But you know what I mean? They'll be more comfortable because they'll be here in New Zealand for the 2 games against the Blues and the Chiefs. So it's a huge game for the Blues. It's a shame, though, the Canes are going to win it. Hurricanes!
There's not much. Yeah, no, but funny you should say that about the odds. A couple of mates of mine were licking their lips at getting the Highlanders at 420 on the weekend.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is it their shout?
Oh, yeah, no, we had a few on Saturday night and woke up with a bit of a steamy head on Sunday, but that's what us Southerners do, it was, Hurricanes win and the boys have a party at Tony Brown's.
Oh, I know. But the Hurricanes, the Highlanders, so anyhow, what else I was going to say was about the Canes. I was going to say something about the Canes and the Blues. No, it's gone. It's left my brain. So we'll just head on to the next game. I thought I got rid of that shit. Okay, there we go. And of course, the round runs out by with the Western Force, who are on a high, taking on the Reds, who are. So this could actually be the game of the round. Who would have thought saying the Western Force versus the Queensland Reds could be the game of the round of round 3 in Super Rugby?
Yeah, who's got the bye week? Is it the Crusaders?
The Crusaders are on the bye this week, yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, this is going to be a good game. Two Aussie sides. Well, the Reds are only early doors into the competition, but the Western Force are 2 from 2, and the confidence in that camp will be pretty good on picking. But never underestimate the Reds. They've got some pretty good players that can break a game open. So that's going to be a good derby, that one.
Yeah, and the good thing is it's on at 9:30 New Zealand time, so it's really, really good because, you get a lot of these games over in Perth that start at 7, 8 o'clock at night, which is about midnight here in New Zealand. So it's good that they've sort of made all these times pretty consistent, although next week the Crusaders and Reds will be playing on a Sunday, which is interesting. I didn't think they were going to have Sunday games, but must be, I don't know, something going on down in Christchurch that weekend. Okay. If I have a quick look at that, I've gone the Reds to actually get up here and win by 12 points.
That's interesting.
Only because, the reason I just say that is you look at the way the Force are playing. I'd love to see them win it. Don't get me wrong, but with a team like the Force, you go, when are the wheels going to fall off? When are they going to get this red card that's going to upset the apple cart? who's going to get injured in training this week. Because I tell you, if they lose Nick White or Donaldson or something like that, they could be in a world of hurt. Their game is around 2 or 3 players, and if any of those go down, it could be a shocker for them. But then, hey, I've been proven wrong again. I said Italy would run France close, and they got thumped by 50 points. So, as I said just a minute ago, the bye week this week is the Crusaders. So
I'll take the Force by 8.
You're taking the Force by 8?
Yeah.
Okay. So to just run past all that again and come back to the big screen. So most of everybody, I think we're all going the same way. I'm only coming 80th out of 107 people on my own tipping comp. So it just goes to show I know bugger all. But I am doing quite well in the fantasy world because we have our own fantasy thing going as well. I do have to jump in there because I've got a few Crusaders in there, and because they are playing this weekend, get your transfers in. We're doing okay. I don't know how they run their points though, because if you go to the standings, for example, on the Super Brew, I see on the breakdown they're saying they've got about 1,000 points and all that. I've got guys who are really clever at picking these things, and they're only on like 400 points. So I'm not too sure how they're picking, Kirsty Stanaway on 1,400 points or whatever, when most of all these other fantasy comps have teams around the 400-500 mark leading the way. So a bit unsure about how that works, but hey, it's not for me to answer. I just know that worldfantasyrugby.com and rugbyfantasy.com have been around for 30 years. Why? Because I started it. And so fantasy rugby, it ain't new. I've been doing it for 30 years, people. Prove me wrong. So that is Super Rugby sort of sorted with. The Six Nations, big results there in the weekend. England winning the Calcutta Cup in a close one against the Scots. I went Scotland. The Irish had a tough go at Wales. At least Wales put up a fight. But France, who are coming to New Zealand this year for 3 test matches, did they just demolish the Italians in Rome? Was that the sacking of Rome? Was that the burning down as Nero played his fiddle? What happened to Italy? They were playing really well, and then the French showed up.
Oh, I got to give credit to Fabian Golter and the French. I mean, he's got a team stacked full of talent. He's got Dupont. He's got he's got that winger with the headgear that just has got unreal speed. He's got he's just a master. He's just a master stroke, that fella. I don't know what he does and where he finds his talent, but it's if they play like that over here, and our All Blacks are in for a wake up call.
Well, the word was that they were going to bring like a B team or a C team. I reckon Galthy's going to bring the team. I think he wants to come here, and he's playing the card of, we are only bringing the people, parlez-vous français, that we want to see in a few years, Meanwhile, with his baguette and beret on, he's going, ha, 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 you wait till you see Dupont in Wellington Stadium. I think he might actually surprise a few of the commentators. And, hey, it's February, so I'm going to call it. I reckon he's going to bring his A team.
Yeah, I reckon it's just all part of his mind games that these famous international coaches like to engage in. But, I think he'll bring the strongest team possible.
Yeah, if you disagree with us, comment below, people. So... I mean, it's all coming down now to the Ireland-France game, who's going to win the Six Nations. So that will be a game worthy of actually actually setting your alarm clock for and watching. I think it's actually being played in Dublin, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, so it might be like a 3 o'clock game unless they play it at 9 o'clock at night, sort of thing. At least we will get a bit of a breakfast game. Actually, what I will quickly do, people, is I'll just have a quick look and see exactly when that game is on, so I don't throw everyone under the bus. Where's Six Nations? Here it is. It's in 2 weeks' time. And, well, I mean, it's only round 4, but it's at 3:15 on Sunday, March the 9th. And then I'll tell you, whoever wins that, it will be interesting because then, I mean, they've got the inside running because in the final week, France have Scotland and, of course, Italy host Ireland. So it's coming down to who wins this game in round 4. So, yeah, a bit interesting. Again, we did start late, so apologies for this. So, but with Tuesdays, not a lot to talk about because we don't have a lot of team lists and stuff. So we might be able to sort out the bar studio by Friday. We might come back and do one and have a look at all the teams and see if we change our minds on our tipping comps. But you've got to give a shout out to the Black Ferns. They won their 39th Cup final yesterday in Vancouver. It was their 50th Cup final overall in the World Series. Every poster winner. Michaela Breakney Blyde is now the all-time GOAT for try scoring in Sevens rugby. But what the fuck has happened to the Sevens team? The men's.
I think they've kind of lost their way. There's a lot of commenting on social media about the coach, sack the coach, and blah blah blah. But yeah, I don't know what's going on, mate. It's pretty disappointing, to be fair. And meanwhile, the girls are coming out and running rings around Fiji in the final. I mean, I don't know.
Okay, so using, I wouldn't say sack the coach. Okay, it's Tamasi Kama, right? A legend of the game, up there with Waisali Serevi, up there with Eric Rush, right? He is a champion of the game. He knows the game. Does this mean because the Aussie girls got beaten by Brazil, they should sack the Brazilians, the Aussie coaching team? No, they'll learn from it. What they've got to do is, I still think Tamasi has got thing, but this season, the best performance in the New Zealand Sevens team, and I'm calling them that because they are the New Zealand Sevens team. There's only one All Black team, and that's the All Black 15s who play the Rugby Championship and World Cups, okay? So the New Zealand Sevens team, they have to go back to the National Championship.
Oh, I've got the courier here. I'll be back in a minute.
Okie dokie. So while he's just getting his courier package, I'll just say, yeah. So none of this regional sevens competitions anymore. None of this you're on contract straight from school. Please, New Zealand Rugby, can you come out and actually set up a national championship, provincial championship again, so we can get players who are playing in all these other provinces the chance? Because I tell you, however they're doing the talent spotting for sevens, it ain't working. It literally is broken. You need to fix it. New Zealand need to start winning these tournaments again. We need to be back in cup finals again. We can't now become the team that always finishes 4th, 5th, or 6th. We've got, huge, problems coming up to Hong Kong. Because when we go to Hong Kong, we are up against teams like, where are we? South Africa, Australia, and Uruguay. And they've all beaten us this year, literally. And then teams like Argentina and Fiji are up against USA and Ireland. Spain, Great Britain, France, and Kenya. I'd love to be in that pool. But, it's sort of like, what the hell is going on with our sevens program? And they literally need to urgently look at the way sevens are done in the world, basically. And yeah, so that's just my thoughts. And it must be a big package.
There we go. I'm back.
Did it come in a brown paper bag?
Yeah.
So I was just saying while you're gone that it's broke. The New Zealand men's program is broken. They've got to bring back the national sevens championships, provincial championships, to find these guys and stop just signing kids straight from secondary school.
Yeah, something needs to change, whether it be talent or I don't know what they're going to do. They've got their work cut out for them anyway.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm sure people will be giving me grief about it, but hey, too bad. Literally. So other news from around the country, not a lot. We will have club draws coming out very soon. For those that don't know, if you are playing rugby here in New Zealand, you must register with the Rugby Explorer. They do not pay me to say that, but I feel for the people who are trying to figure out how it works, and I wish them all the best. But as for the people at Tribe, I'm unsure how they're going to be doing their results. I'm still trying to find out from him so we can get club results to everyone during the year. But otherwise, any news from Mid-Canterbury? Have you got a new boss yet down there?
No, still no word on a new CEO at the moment. The club draw for the Division 1 Lizzetti combined competition draw is out for the teams in Mid-Canterbury, Ellesmere and North Canterbury. That's been out. What else? The Rugby Explorer, NZR rolled out this new system this year and it's causing a few headaches with clubs and also club administrators. Some saying that Sporty was the better app, and why have they done this and why have they done this? But that's all right. We'll adapt to that. And we've got our first pre-season on the 7th of March, which is Mayfield Show weekend, and we're travelling down to play Nigel Walters' Pleasant Point. Nigel Walters' old club, Pleasant Point, down at Pleasant Point. So. Yeah,
well, I'm still waiting to hear if he's going to be the king of the castle down there in Green and Blackland. Still awaiting notification of new coaches from West Coast and stuff like that. So waiting to hear that. Waiting to hear what's going to happen with the West Coast and Buller, whether they have separate or combined comps. So we're waiting to hear that. Wairarapa Bush aren't that far away from announcing their draw for the season, and everyone else, well, hey, whatever I say. But what we will be doing though is just as a bit of housekeeping. A lot of you might not be aware, but I am involved with clubrugby.co.nz or clubrugby.nz. I know he's having issues with his .co domain at the moment. But on clubrugby.nz, we are looking at doing a tipping competition. We're just finalising some details now. We have got it loaded up, but we need to sort of get it working for the Swindale Shield here in Wellington, all 13 rounds. So keep an eye out for that, because apparently we're going to be having some prizes via clubrugby.nz, via some clothing manufacturers. So if we can get this all up and running, it could be something to look forward to and having a punt on. But otherwise, that's about us for today. Late start, early finish. Maybe we could do it again on Friday from the bar. What do you reckon?
Yeah, I should be around. I don't got much going on Friday, but we can never go, because I think the teams come out around, is it 4 o'clock Wednesday or 4 o'clock Thursday? It's 4 o'clock Wednesday, isn't it?
Well, it's 4 o'clock Wednesday, Thursday, something like that, Wednesday. But I don't know if you noticed, but something weird's going on at the Hurricanes. the media releases there have been few and far between. And I was told by a reliable source yesterday, several people have now left the organisation. So, drama. What's going on in the back rooms of the Hurricanes? That's something to ponder on. So hopefully we can find out a bit more about that. But the source I had was very reliable. So, so until maybe Friday, thank you for watching. And thank you, Mike. And we'll end the stream and we'll catch us all on the next show of Rugby Chat. See you all.
See ya.